What is going on, everybody? My name's Marco. In this video I'm going to be doing some benchmarks of my Pentium build that I originally did for LAN parties but ended up buying a laptop instead, so ended up not really using it for what I wanted. Anyway guys, this laptop, or rather this PC here, is going to have a Pentium G4620 in it at I believe 3.7 or 3.9 gigahertz. It's going to have 8 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM and a GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. Now onto some benchmarks here. We're going to be playing around with Firestrike, Time Spy, Overwatch, PUBG, and Rocket League as well. So starting off this benchmark here, really doesn't seem to be all that bad. The frame rate seems like it's alright in the 30s. I think the laptop is comparable to this. This build here, I think, was around $600 or so. I believe it was. I'm not 100% sure. I built it quite a few months ago. I just never ended up really using it too much. But, yeah, anyway, so getting about 30 to 40 FPS in this scene here, this graphics test, so that's really not too bad at all. Now we're going to head on to the second graphics test here, and we're going to see that the frame rate does get quite a bit lower here as there's some more particles going on there with those little kind of fire ember things there, and some shadows I see, and some like silhouettes around some of those different items there that are probably taxing the GPU as well. So here's going to be the physics test. I believe this tests the CPU a bit, which you could see here definitely is a little bit lacking. We're getting 20 FPS. I think on my laptop and pretty much every other computer I've ever tested, this gets much higher. I think like 30s, 40s, maybe even higher than that. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I messed with it. So now the combined test here. This is just really bad. Look at this. 13 FPS. This may be just as bad or maybe worse than my laptop was in that previous benchmark I did, guys. Look at this. 13 FPS. This is a slideshow. No doubt about it. Look at this. This computer here really scored better than I thought it would at 6,200 points. That might have been close to the laptop. I believe the laptop was kind of in that range there. Something like that. So that's not too bad. This is a little bit less than the laptop for sure. Now it's Time Spy here anyway, so we're getting 14 FPS here in the beginning of Time Spy, which is not that great. I don't think I've ever seen a computer really go this low before. The Pentium's definitely not by any means a gaming processor at all. It is very entry level. I believe that the G4620 was about $90 on Amazon probably about 6 months ago or so. This computer here I originally built with the Celeron G3900, I believe, and I was using it to play around with Linux and all that, but then I suddenly got into LAN parties, so I decided to upgrade it to a Pentium and throw in an extra 4 gigs of RAM and that 1050 Ti I've had laying around so I could actually bring it to LAN parties, and it did go to a couple of them, but the laptop was just a better overall thing to deal with, as I didn't have to mess around bringing a monitor, keyboard, and mouse. I just brought the computer and my mouse pad and my headset, and that was it. So this test here is getting 10 FPS now. You can see a lot of screen tearing there. I guess that's because the display is probably refreshing faster than the actual output there. The display here is my 144Hz G-Sync monitor here. I don't think that G-Sync was enabled though for these tests. I don't believe it was for some reason. I think it didn't work right with HDMI or something like that, because I was using HDMI, I wasn't using DisplayPort for this particular test here, and everything was running, I believe, at 1080p as well, so 1920 by 1080 for those of you who wanted to know the exact resolution. Alright, so now we're on to what they call the CPU test, I believe, here. So things are going alright at this point, but you guys will quickly see how this computer grinds down to a halt while doing this particular test. The Pentium is just not able to keep up with this test at all. It is a dual-core processor, and it does have hyper-threading, so it does have quite the advantage over the Celeron and the Skylake Pentium for that matter. This is the Kaby Lake Pentium here that we're talking about, so it is quite a bit better. I mean, you guys will see in a moment here in the actual gaming test that this computer actually plays games really well. The synthetic benchmarks are just kind of more so you could see it compared to other PCs that are on the internet and all that, just see how it kind of stacks up in comparison to those. But it does not perform very well in these benchmarks at all. 8 FPS right here, guys. Look at this. This is very, very, very slow. But this processor isn't made for this kind of stuff, honestly. It's just made to kind of do some office work and maybe some light through the applications, and even that is probably going to be taken with a grain of salt, honestly. So there's the time spy results right there. You guys see it. Not too good, but we're going to go ahead and hop into some gaming now. So we're going to go with Rocket League. Here's all the settings right here. Everything's set to pretty high quality. We got 60 FPS as our limitation there at 1080p. So as you see, guys, here we're getting 60 FPS, which is phenomenal. For a PC of this caliber, I would say this is great gameplay. I mean, pretty much like every computer that's somewhat modern with a somewhat decent graphics card can run this game pretty well at high settings. And this is a super popular game, I know. So, you know, this is pretty cheap if you want to play that. And for the first time ever, guys, you're going to see a score from me. I couldn't believe that I got this while filming. So, congrats to me there. And moment of silence for this one. Look at that. 2 scores in a row. So anyway, we're going to head to PUBG now. As you guys can see here, the settings are set to very low for the most part. This game is very taxing. I believe this game is running on a later update with better performance than my laptop was during its testing. That and the fact that I'm also playing on Miramar, which is a different map, which probably doesn't matter all that much, in all honesty. But as you guys can see here, we're getting about 60 FPS. So there's some drops here and there, but overall, definitely much better looking playable experience than the laptop was doing. And even more than I remember this computer doing before all these updates, because I did play PUBG on this computer quite a few months back, and it did not run this well. So now we're going to be airborne here. We're getting some FPS drops into the low 50s here. But I mean, overall, that's fine. I would still call that playable by any means. This goes to show you here, you don't really need a multi-$1,000 computer to run this game. While it would definitely improve your experience, it's not necessary to have a good time playing. So we're dropping now into Hacienda, and FPS is dropping a little bit along with that. We do have some action around us, some other players playing with us, but overall, look at that, guys. It's staying right around 60. I would say that's probably fine. So in this part of the game, of course, I was trying to get some safety because that guy did have a shotgun or some kind of long gun. I wasn't really sure what it was. So right there, he learned his lesson that should have left me alone. So that was quite a pretty crazy kill there. I kind of surprised this guy. Kind of felt bad for him, but you know, you don't pay attention, you get killed in this game. That's kind of how it works. And of course, for me, a terrible death right there. Horrible timing. Just didn't have the right gun out. Just taking meds. Bad for me. Anyway, guys, we're going to finish this benchmark up with Overwatch here. As you guys can see, the settings are all set to pretty much high for the most part there. You go ahead and see the actual breakdown there. For the most part, everything's set to high, so you know, definitely not too bad as far as settings go there. So right here in the character screen, we're getting 60 FPS solid. Look at that. 59. And just right here where everyone's kind of jumbled together here, we're getting pretty good FPS. 60 solid, guys. That's pretty impressive. Also, this right here is probably going to be some of the only kills you guys are ever going to see me get in Overwatch, because I'm overall really bad at this game. I do play it sometimes, but it's not my forte by any means. So anyway guys, that'll do it. I appreciate you watching the video. Hopefully it gave you guys an idea of what these parts would be able to do should you want to build a PC of this caliber. I know right now at the time of this video's filming and more than likely upload, that finding a graphics card, even a 1050 Ti, for its MSRP is going to be next to impossible. So you know, if you guys have a 1050 Ti already and you just are using an older computer like, you know, a few years ago, maybe you want to upgrade to these different components that I have in here, like the Pentium and all that, just to hold you over till you can afford to maybe get something a little more, a little better, like an i7 or some kind of Ryzen build that's a high caliber as well. So I mean, overall guys, it runs really well and all that, so I'm pretty happy with it. It's a shame I don't really get to use it anymore as I have the laptop now, but you know, it does work, and it's pretty cool that for this price point it does, you know, a really good job playing, as you guys can see. So anyway guys, that'll do it right there guys. If you liked the video, remember to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That'd be pretty cool. Trying to get up in a subscriber count, so if you guys want to subscribe, you like it, please go ahead and do that. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching.